Life. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Galactic Nerd Outpost. I am your host, Joey McGee, aka Daikaiju Spacezilla. You guys introduce yourselves.
Galix, do you want to go first?
Hey, how's it going? My name's Galix.
All right, I'm Forgotten Pharaoh. Lovely to meet y'all.
Today, we're going to take a look at the movie Snake Eyes, but before we get into that, let's go on about some other shit so other members have some time to join the stream. I'm sure some of you who were waiting last week to get on a stream were probably disappointed last week, and I'm sorry, my shitty eyes. Apparently what happened, everyone was telling me the StreamYards thing is easy, and I was like, oh, this is not as easy as it seems, but turned out my mess up was my terrible eyes did not see the go live button above. It was that easy. All that time wasted because I couldn't. All that time wasted. I swear to God. I can't.
Ye of poor eyesight.
It's okay. Happens to everyone, I'm sure. It has to.
But at least we got the gist of it now and understand everything.
Did you get your mom to find the live button for you? You know, like work her mom magic of finding the thing that you can't find?
Oh, fuck off, Galix. But when it comes to this whole Galactic Nerd Outpost thing, this is a series of podcasts / live streams I'm deciding to do, where I just get a bunch of friends together to discuss a bunch of nerdy shit we're into. I did have a shortcoming review series where I pretty much cut fast break theater reviews, where I think it was very short-lived because the only ones I did was Godzilla King of the Monsters and that Grudge movie. That did not last long because those were the only 2 episodes I did in the whole thing. Oh wait, he said it's something supposed to be happening. I hit the whole live button. Broadcast is on. JS Pina, do you see us? Let me go to YouTube. I'm pretty sure it says we're live. Okay. Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, we are. Okay.
I see us on YouTube.
Yeah, Sebastian, I won't say his name. JS Penna, kind of scared me for a bit there because I was like, oh shit, did something fuck up again?
Oh no.
Yeah, but yeah, we're good. I was scared for a minute. But yeah, when it comes to this whole Galactic, those fast break theater reviews things would be when I go to a movie theater and watch a movie there, I would come back and give my thoughts after seeing it in the theater. But now I think I'm just going to save movie theater reviews for Galactic Nerd Outpost, as I think that seems more fun, as really it's still just my initial thoughts from seeing a movie in the movie house rather than my normal style reviews, which I feel if we're going to do non-scripted reviews of stuff I've seen in a theater, might as well do it this way. When you guys agree?
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And anyway, Snake Eyes. Now, one of you can do the honors of giving the plot summary, as I suck ass at that stuff, so which one do you want to do the honors?
I gotcha. So, Snake Eyes. It is an origin story about the great and most famous G.I. Joe, who is generally mute and more or less an assassin. It goes over how he got the name, how he got his suit, his history with his rivalry with Storm Shadow, and more or less those bits, and like giving you ideas of into the G.I. Joe world for the most part.
Yes. Which, I must say, I actually enjoyed the story here. I know a lot of people were not fond of it, but me personally, I found it to be enjoyable. Got us into... Oh, wait, before we get into this, I would also like to say, we're starting off, spoiler-free, but after we do give our final thoughts and ratings, we'll do a spoiler discussion. But
I got my notes all set.
Okay. Before I go on about my opinion of the story, you can go first, Forgotten Pharaoh.
Sure. So, overall, the plot was interesting. All right, so what I have here, It was a good movie, inspiring, slightly memorable. It had some actually emotional parts to it, which honestly had me surprised because the other G.I. Joe movies were just, they were fun, but not like, they were kind of like roller coaster rides. Like, I feel okay with this. But let me preface this. I know very little about G.I. Joe. I've
Same
seen the
here.
movies. Yeah, I'm aware it was a
Am
cartoon.
I the only one who actually knows G.I. Joe then?
Yes,
I
you
guess
are.
so.
Because
Like,
I only... You first
what?
forgotten. I only seen when I was a kid the old cartoon, and I only seen the old cartoon that my dad grew up loving, along with stuff like Transformers and the movies, which I enjoyed back then. Not sure how I'd feel about them now, but not sure if this is like a origins. I mean, I'm not sure if it's like a prequel to those live action movies or what.
I don't even know if they're tied together, honestly. Because it was a nice plot overall. It was simple, easy. It felt like I was just watching an extended episode of a G.I. Joe show, which made me think I would probably watch a G.I. Joe show if it came out on like Netflix or HBO Max.
Yes, I can agree with you 100% there. Because I thought it was a pretty enjoyable story. It went into the origins of the characters that are a part of this beloved franchise pretty well by developing them, getting us into their past, and explain the origins. Like, I know some people were, like, I seen another friend of mine tell me that Snake Eyes isn't supposed to talk because his throat was cut, but it's an origin story. You're not maybe he didn't get to that point where his throat was slit yet. So...
Is that what happened?
Well, originally, what happened was Snake Eyes actually took a vow of silence. I can't remember specifically. I think it had something to do with like the death of his master. It was like, or something. He was traumatized so much that he actually took a vow of silence. And apparently, and I read this somewhere, the only other piece of media aside from this Snake Eyes movie, the only other piece of media where Snake Eyes ever actually made any kind of like vocal noise was way back when the first G.I. Joe movie after he defeated Storm Shadow. He let out that quiet sigh of like, I don't know, like of a bittersweet defeat of not an enemy of a brother. Other than that, and other than this movie, that's like the only time he made any kind of vocal noise in any form of media, be it comic books, movies, or TV shows.
Okay, that explains it. Because I think it's in the Marvel comics. Yeah, it's the Marvel comics. My friend Tomi, I'm not sure how many of you guys watch him. We had a little conversation on Twitter about this. He said that Snake Eyes in the Marvel comics is mute because he had his throat slit, so he doesn't have that ability. But for me, it's an origin story, so maybe it didn't get to that point yet. Shit, it's actually working up to another film, which probably ain't gonna happen because it's unfortunately bombing, but that's not, you can't really fault it for that.
Well, we'll get into that in a little bit. Like, I have some reservations on it, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and even then, when it comes to faithful stuff, it still felt like a G.I. Joe movie. And I know someone's probably gonna want to beat the shit out of me and call me a pretentious by that. Oh, you know shit about G.I. Joe because you only seen that old cartoon and movies in live action movies when you were a little kid. But the little that I do know, I think it does feel enough like G.I. Joe to pass off as a G.I. Joe movie while still having its own vision. I think something could be judged as its own thing, and I think this, from what I know about G.I. Joe, still is passable as a G.I. Joe movie while still being different. And even then, like I said, it's an origin story. And it does follow a bit of, though it's cliched, I don't mind that, honestly. Cliches never bother me. It did offer a lot of emotion around the characters while still having a fun, upbeat nature that I really enjoyed about the overall plot. And had some pretty interesting twists, too, that I honestly did not forget, and that I honestly did not think would happen. Like, when I was in the theater, it just felt surprising when they did occur, and I'm sure you two know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple moments that made me like, okay, confused, but okay.
Yeah, the twist that occurred, they didn't feel forced, and they made sense. And it did a good job at giving Snake Eyes the motivation to do good, and pretty much feel bad about his later mistakes, which we'll get into when we talk about the acting and characters.
So yeah, Galix, what'd you think of it?
Well, for me, for me personally, it didn't feel like a G.I. Joe movie in the continuity of G.I. Joe, because it wasn't about the Joes at all. Of course, they were mentioned, and we had what's her name, Scarlet, show up. They were a good cameo, but to me, it did not feel like a G.I. Joe movie because it was a Snake Eyes movie. As it is a G.I. Joe Origins movie of Snake Eyes before he joined the Joes. Yeah. But I also feel like what with the characters that they had in the movie definitely is allowing to open up a potential line of future movies in the years to come.
Yeah, I agree.
Overall, I'm open to a lot of I'm more open to different approaches to certain characters than most people that I've met or know. For example, the 2019 Hellboy movie, I was open to that one. I actually relatively enjoyed it. Don't come knocking down my house, my door, killing me, saying it's not Ron Perlman, it's not Hellboy. And it's like, well, that's not what it's meant to be. It's not meant to live up to that. Like Ron Perlman,
either.
Of course, Ron Perlman's and Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy movies are the best out of all three of them, without a doubt. But I still genuinely enjoyed David Harbour as Hellboy. I enjoyed it was a relatively, interesting movie because I went in to watch it knowing it wasn't going to be anything like its predecessors. And, I can't, and then when I went and watched Snake Eyes, I knew it wasn't going to be anything like the previous movies because I am fairly certain that they are not at all connected.
According to J.S. Penna, they are not tied together.
Yeah. Yeah, they're nothing to do with them, nothing to do with, previous incarnations. It stands on its own.
Which is perfectly fine. Even if something is completely
fine.
Even if this was not, even let's say this was just a romance movie, not even a martial art film at all, and just followed the characters from G.I. Joe. If it was good, it should still be judged as its own thing, and should not be criticized based on the name alone.
Right. I don't know. It feels like the name is what's carrying part of this movie. Because if Snake Eyes and G.I. Joe wasn't attached to it, it'd feel like it would just be a regular martial arts movie that would have blended in with a couple others that I've seen in the background. And
the only way you would know it was in any way related to G.I. Joe is because what other character do you know has the name of Snake Eyes and has that iconic look?
Yeah, and honestly, which I don't mind it being pretty much just like another martial arts movie, as I freaking love martial arts movies. I've been watching stuff like Kung Fu Hustle, Bruce Lee movies, and a lot of stuff recently. What's the other movie? Something Dragon?
The Last Dragon? Because I just saw that with Bruce Leroy. I saw that convention.
I saw that too, but there's this one movie with Zhang Zi that was famous. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I watched that as well. That was another really good one. And I know many people don't think of this as a martial arts film, but it is. Godzilla Final Wars. It's a kaiju / martial arts film.
I mean, Godzilla's doing some kung fu moves in there.
You cannot say Godzilla doesn't know martial arts.
Yeah, plus you have
Clearly, he knows martial arts. Clearly, he trained with the master Bruce Lee.
Godzilla used to box. He had the whole foot shuffle going. He knows how to fight.
Plus, you also had other people, and plus, you also had the battle between the aliens, mutants, and humans, which was definitely very martial arts driven. Plus, the fights were very inspired by Matrix.
But that's a review for another day.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be reviewing that for my Toho Kaiju Marathon series, which, for those watching, I am gonna be uploading more consistently soon. My next video is on its way this coming Saturday.
Woo. Yeah, as a martial arts movie, I absolutely loved it. Like Joey said, I am also a big martial arts fan. I love the choreographic fight sequence. Every fight scene left me on the edge of my seat, especially that the very first fight scene. That one right there is just my absolute favorite. And once we get more into depth of it, I'll talk more about it. And what else was I saying? And the thing that people were expecting from this film was they were expecting it to be as close to the original source as possible,
which was their mistake.
And yeah, it's not the worst thing, and that's like the thing with like movies based off comic books or video games or anything of other forms of media, is that you want to keep to the original source as much as possible, but it's not exactly a bad thing to add your own little modern originality twist to it.
Take the live action Attack on Titan movies, for example. Many people complain that, they're too different, but interesting enough, Shinji Higuchi wanted to make an accurate film adaptation to the manga, but Hajime Isayama, which had big part, the person who did the Attack on Titan manga, Hajime Isayama, actually felt that he suggested, which he had big parts into the movie, that they make the differences of that movie, because pretty much he was saying that why make it a copy of his manga when the animated TV show is a thing? And he's right.
Yeah. He really the live action movies, they stand on their own.
Exactly, they're really good.
They but there's one thing that the live action and the show had in common.
What?
What the fuck endings?
Oh yeah, they get tired all the time. But even tying it to Godzilla, like every rendition of Godzilla came out has different back spines going for them. And that's the director is saying, all right, this is my version of Godzilla. I'm going to design him a little bit differently. That's why every time we see him, he has all his spines either larger or sharper or shorter in every single movie.
And he also has, different origins as well. Mm-hmm. But it still pertains to the original source of being a mutated aberration of nature. Always.
Exactly.
Or anything to do with radiation and an absolute force of nature to remind humanity of our follies and whatnot. Like Godzilla has changed so much over the 60 plus years of his film career, but he has always remained the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be him a good for force or for evil, he was always provided that same message that he was originally created for. Be it in different ways, it was the same message.
Shit, even 98 has its similarities to Godzilla, as when you look at 98 as a animal reimagining of the monster, pretty much what they did, they went back to the basics of Godzilla's inspiration, being a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a Iguanodon, and replaced the crocodile with a lizard, and then they went from there while still carrying other aspects of Godzilla.
Granted, and 98 stands on its own as well. It's a good monster movie, but it's not the best Godzilla movie.
Yeah, it's
that's just the truth of it. But 98 has become a prominent figure in the Godzilla community to this day.
Exactly.
98's always felt kind of the weakest for me, just maybe because I haven't seen it as much as the others. But it's a fun movie, and I'll give it to that. I love how we're just going to keep spiraling into this, back into Godzilla somewhere. I
agree with you 100%.
But my original point is that it's good to keep to the original source while having your own original twist to it, but you don't want to add too much of an original twist to it that just takes away the whole entire aspect of the character that you are doing that twist on, or series that you're doing that twist on.
I agree.
Because then it's just like a bumbling mess.
Exactly, because you want to still carry some aspects to still please the fans, but even if it goes completely away from the source material, it should be judged as its own thing.
Right.
But with someone with mild knowledge on G.I. Joe like myself, so take what I say with a grain of salt on it being accurate, I think it kept enough in common with the characters and such.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, J.S. Penna said two things. The first thing was, in quotations, I enjoyed the Hellboy movie, Hellboy 2019. Everyone, but why? and he also said the live-action AOT movie was good, in quotation. And he said that's not what I heard. Yeah, a lot of people did not like the live-action Attack on Titan movies, but me personally, I thought they were really good. And many people
put a lot of effort into it.
I didn't watch them so much. Attack on Titan bored us over time. It's a great premise. It just, as soon as it started getting super political, I'm like, you lost me. You had the giant human monsters, and you had cool fighting gear. The minute you started going political, the whole thing got lost to me. Why?
That's understandable. But I think Attack on Titan always had politics in it somewhere. But Hajime Isayama actually really enjoyed the Attack on Titan movies so much. He took aspects that were in those movies and added them into the later entries of the manga, which also got adapted into the animated series. Like Zeke, he's based on Zeke, aka the Beast Titan, is actually based off
Monkey.
Shikishima Jaeger in the live-action movies.
I'll give you that, though. The action in this whole movie was actually pretty fun. The first fight, some of the fights were a little jarring with some shaky cam. And as someone who has vertigo, I wasn't expecting that. And like, I can't see what's going on. But as soon as the camera stopped shaking and I was able to see the fights go through, I'm like, wow, this is kind of cartoony and what I expected in a movie like this. I don't expect G.I. Joe and Snake Eyes to have like realistic combat physics. I expect a little bit of the over-the-top level of fighting where they're like flipping off a motorcycle or jumping off moving cars while slicing a dude in half, and stuff like that happens. I'm like, you know what? Now you got my attention, movie.
I know, right? Like, I agree that at first, I don't think the first few fights are bad. They were still entertaining, but there was a bit of shaky cam in the first few fights. But as it went on, they got really fucking good. And when it comes to over-the-top action scenes, that's one of the things I love about cinema. I watch movies and stuff to get sucked into another world. Rather the world be similar to the world I'm in, being real life, or it being completely new and over the top. Sometimes it's just nice to get sucked into something completely different, and everything was it was usually well choreographed. The fight moves were overall really good, and I found the battles to be intense. And they had me excited throughout, wondering how it was going to go, even though deep down I knew Snake Eyes wasn't going to be killed because he's the fucking titled character, for Christ's sake. But you still had that intensity featured in the fights that kept you on the edge of your seat. And with the crazy shit they're able to do, like fighting on it's been a little bit since I watched it, so were they battling on a truck?
They were battling on a truck. Yeah, those carpooling trucks
carrying
cargo trucks.
Yeah, their battling on that truck was just super fucking insane. I loved it. While you also had the others on their motorcycles trying to get over there, dodging shit, which kind of reminded. I noticed that, as Forgotten Pharaoh said, it goes back to Godzilla one way or another. But kind of reminded me.
Everything always goes back to Godzilla.
But kind of reminded me of the motorcycle battle and Godzilla Final Wars, which also being a martial arts movie. And it was just really entertaining. Mm-hmm. And the climax, which we'll get into spoilers on final thoughts and ratings, of course, but I'm just going to say the climax was super epic and had something that just really, really got my adrenaline going, especially with those giant fucking anacondas. Which the anacondas, I'm going to
spoiler, dude!
Well, I'm not going to say what the anacondas did, but mild spoiler on the whole anacondas being in the movie, but they're cool. I really like the
spoilers. There's giant snakes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
there's giant snakes in a movie called Snake Eyes. Go figure.
This movie, I did not expect giant snakes at any point for this.
The only snakes I was really thinking would be in this movie was Snake Eyes and Cobra. But what do you know? Even I'm taken by surprise.
Yeah.
Well, I guess a mild spoiler there. Like, this is the type of spoiler I'd feature in my normal reviews, but nothing huge that would pretty much ruin the movie for anybody. Like stuff that occurs. But the Cobras, I fucking love this. Well, not Cobras, Anacondas. I'm a fucking idiot. The Cobras, I loved them. The CGI on them was very well enhanced, full of great detail, fluid, and they looked like actual anacondas. They kind of reminded me of the anaconda in the movie Anaconda from the 1990s, which I'm not sure if you guys.
I missed.
Oh yeah.
That movie was really good.
Yeah,
that was like my first snake movie growing up. Jennifer Lopez.
It was good.
Yeah.
Which I will say this, Jennifer Lopez.
Just like the scenes that they weren't in a lot of scenes, but the scenes that they were in, you could just feel the suspense and the tense.
Oh yeah.
The thing with snakes, even if they're just unpredictable, you really can't tell what they're thinking.
Exactly. Which
and
we'll go
just
into.
Wondering what the hell.
And that's good. You can't emote, and that makes sense. It's like, I don't know if I'm like, are we cool? Are we not cool? And it's just staring you down. Like, wow, this would be a really intense scene right now. If I was there, I'd be terrified.
Exactly. Which, when it comes to the snakes, we'll get into what their purposes are in a spoiler section, which would be after final thoughts and ratings. But I thought they were really cool with super good special effects to bring them to life. Now, what do you think of the fight scenes, Galax? And also, you guys should go into your thoughts on the special effects on the creatures, unless you guys want to save that. For the spoiler section.
Well, the special effects throughout the entire movie on things that required special effects were pretty good. Really, really good. The snakes. Whatever required special effects.
The explosions.
Oh no, that was all real.
Yeah. But
they had real rocket launchers.
The CG explosions.
They killed people.
But the use for the explosions were very incredible for the action scenes, of course.
Mm-hmm. The action scenes were, again, really good. I enjoyed watching those fights. And just absolutely took my breath away with just how they fought, how they worked together, and even before Snake Eyes started training with Storm Shadow and his clan, he had the whole Street Fighter vibe he had going for him, technique that was crude but effective and got the job done
against a bunch of Yakuza. It's like, wow, this dude could fight, and I'll give him that. It just always makes me think, I'm like, are the Yakuza that, terrible, or is he just that good?
Yeah.
I'm always bouncing that at the back of my mind. It's like, I feel
it's whatever the movie wants them to be.
Which, when it comes to the characters, I'll be honest, I actually thought Snake Eyes was a pretty well-written character and well acted by Henry Holt Golding. He pretty much has a good backstory to him, being that he lost his father and got his name due to... This is at the beginning of the movie, so this does not count as a spoiler. And got his name because the villain, pretty much when he killed his father, used the Snake Eyes thing.
It's not a spoiler because it's super generic. Just guess a
main
character's sad backstory.
It's one of the most cliche stories out there in movie genre to this day.
Yeah, but cliche or not, I do think it was pretty well written, particularly because it's character development. He starts off, he has a motivation, and that motivation causes him to be hateful, aggressive, to the point of making reckless decisions, of even joining the Yakuza, but eventually realizes the Yakuza is pretty fucked up and pretty much goes his own way.
Oh my god. Are you saying the Yakuza are bad guys?
But after
No!
That's
But
crazy.
I thought they were upstanding gentlemen.
Yeah.
Little ladies cross the street.
Yeah,
Well,
like they own hot tub companies, don't they? That's why only they're allowed in hot tubs in Japan.
Well, in all fairness, he was being reckless mainly because he wanted to kill his father's killer, and the Yakuza pretty much offered to him that he could help him find a killer. Eventually, at first, he was pretty much a lone wolf, avoiding others. But pretty much, he was sorry, I was reading JS's comments, but he was avoiding others pretty much as he didn't want to get too attached to anybody due to losing his father. But that he was reckless after the Yakuza guy told him that he could help him find his killer. And as you know, throughout the movie, he is vengeful. He's still upset about his father's death and wants to get him badly. But once he realizes the Yakuza guy is about to do something bad, he sees it about to happen, he's tempted. He pretty much sees what he did wrong and tries to make it right. Of course, later in the movie, he still isn't perfect and a little bit on the reckless side. But he does come across some things on his journey that eventually makes him come to the way he is now of being a good guy.
It takes a long time for him to get to that point, though.
Yeah, but that's good.
It does, but that's what character development is good for.
Exactly. If it was just sudden, that would have been ridiculous. It's good to have ups and downs. He was slowly seeing what he did wrong. And that's what I like, till eventually he completely saw the error of his ways.
I can't. I want to say it, but I can't. But I just have to wait for spoilers. Like, I'm just going to hold it in for right now.
And when it comes to Kiko, one minute, I'm gonna try to pull out the actress's name because I just have it where I have to think of him. Kiko played by Haruka. Akiko played by Haruka Abe. I'm not just saying this because she's hot, because as you know, I fucking love Asian women. But,
really?
Couldn't have guessed.
But I thought she was a pretty good character too, because again, it's cliched, but it is character development. Because eventually, at first, she does not trust Snake Eyes, as she earned her way in the clan, as she had a dark past of her own. But the clan was pretty much there for her, regardless of her pretty much messed up past being like family to her. But eventually, finding out more about Snake Eyes, he does earn her trust, and we do get this nice connection between them, because at first, she is very critical of him and always keeping an eye out on him.
With good reason.
Yeah, but eventually she does start to gain feelings towards him. And
God, I was so angry with that. I was writing it down in my notes like, y'all better not kiss. Y'all better not kiss. Y'all better not kiss.
I
don't need random romances in this movie.
I don't think it was feelings, but rather it was just, a newfound respect and trust.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Seeing that he himself also, had like a rough past growing up. Of course,
you're right.
There's nothing more that just melts a girl's heart than my daddy died.
Yeah, you are right there. You are right.
Oh, boo-hoo. Do you know how many parents I've lost just from divorce throughout the course of my life?
I was about to say, how many parents have you had that died?
Not died.
I was like, shit, forgotten Pharaoh. What happened in your life?
So much has happened. There's a reason why I'm forgotten and no one remembers me.
But when it comes to the whole thing, but yeah, Galax is right. It was probably just a newfound respect, as after saying that, she learned to trust him and see him as a part of their family, and she even helps him when a certain situation occurs. It's just a very well done relationship, and I'm not a romantic one, as Galax said, as I don't think that's the direction that they were going. Now that Galax mentions it, but it was some pretty solid character development, even if it was cliched. But again, I don't really judge by originality. I prefer to judge by execution, and there was the correct amount of development between the two for him to slowly earn her trust.
For him to slowly open up as well.
Yeah. even with
that's
those
fair,
bumps
then.
in the road. And both really did a good performance, because Akiko was actress Haruka Abe. She's definitely seemed very passionate about the whole clan thing.
Mm-hmm.
She seemed very passionate about it and put a lot of her emotions into it, but eventually when she's starting to gain her respect for Snake Eyes, she also put this more kind and respectful performance that was actually pretty convincing. And then
He's gonna have trust issues after this, I swear. If I was her, I would immediately have trust issues, and like, the last person I trusted gave me this. Now you're giving me all of this. Not happening anymore.
yes, most definitely. But it was pretty well done character development. That was nice to see in the movie. And what was their Yakuza leader named again?
Kenta, I think.
Kenta.
Yeah, Kenta. Let me see the actor's name, because I gotta mention him, because I'm an OCD freak.
While you look him up, I want to give words that the entire movie, the first master Snake Eyes had to deal with. I was staring at him like, who is this dude, and why is he so good at martial arts, and why does he look familiar? Took me all movie to figure out he's the actor from The Raid. He's the main actor from the movie The Raid, which is so good. And it's like, that's why you're probably the best martial artist in this entire movie.
That explains it. But when it comes to Kenta, played by Takahiro Takahiro Hila, I think his name is, I thought he was a pretty solid villain, because he's manipulative, cunning, and I'm not going to say how to the spoiler section, but he done a lot of nasty shit just to get what he wants, even backstabbing and doing so much stuff wrong. And the performance that he gave, the actor gave, definitely made him seem legitimately evil and straight up a manipulative dickhead that was pretty much just using Snake Eyes to get what he wants, which that's obviously not a spoiler. I'm not going to go into what he was using him for, but a very evil guy. Though he did say one line that did make me laugh during the movie. Like, he told the other guy, I'll look up his name later, soon, he told him, oh, you're a naughty boy. It's like, what the fuck is this shit?
No one can say that, and it'll be okay.
What the fuck? If that were me, I'd be like, "What the fuck would you say that to me? What kind of grown ass man says that to another grown ass man?"
It's like, that's not right, dude.
That is not.
It's like,
I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're a naughty boy. Wink, wink. It's like, what the fuck? Did I just turn into walk in a theater of a fucking gay porno or something?
Now you know there's gonna be a parody of that fucking line. Jesus fucking
Christ.
You just had to say it, Joey.
Yeah, I know. But that said, I thought he was a cunning villain that was well written and well acted to make him overall a good threat for the cast of the movie. And then there is before I go into the other characters, what's your thoughts on I want you two to discuss your opinions on the first two characters, the first three characters I went into now, being Snake Eyes, Akiko, and Kenta.
Kenta was a good foil for Johnny. Johnny being Storm Shadow, but they just call him Johnny the rest of this movie, and now I can't unlearn that now. It's like, your name is Johnny. That's funny.
I think it's pronounced Jami.
I don't know. I was hearing it as Johnny, so now his name's Johnny. It's like when I heard that. What's that dude's name? It's like when I heard that Kylo Ren was named Ben. I'm like, you're never being called that again. You are for here on just Ben or Ben. I refuse to call him anything else. So from now on, Storm Shadow is just Johnny until I remembered otherwise or forget. But yeah, Kenta was a good foil for Johnny throughout the entire movie. He didn't really do too much for Snake Eyes himself. He was definitely being manipulative, but honestly enough, he never lied. He did not
lie. That is true. He did keep to his word.
I did exactly what I said I was going to do. You're being the jerk in this movie. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. I feel like the movie kind of would have been better if it was based on Johnny Storm Shadow.
Yeah, Though he did not lie, but what he did do was he didn't exactly tell Snake Eyes the full truth either.
I didn't lie. I just didn't
Compartmentalize
tell
those
you
things.
everything. There's a
Yeah.
difference.
Exactly. Which was still him being manipulative, and it did lead to Snake Eyes giving his, full redemption. After he pretty much found out all that was going on.
True. I'll be honest though, Kenta versus Johnny were probably some of my most favorite one-on-one duels of the entire movie.
You could just tell that Kenta was just having fun, just pretty much bullying Johnny around. Like he was obviously much more superior, much more in control of his emotions, which Johnny was not, and he knew that, and he knew just exactly how to get under Johnny's skin and just wipe the floor with him.
And they did that with little dialogue as they fought, where you could see he would get the advantage more as they fought. And I love seeing that type of character development mid-fight and through actions.
Right. Yeah. You could just see that, of course, Kenta was definitely overconfident in his skills. Mm-hmm. And eventually that kind of bit him in the ass in the end. He was skilled, but he was also prideful. And in the end, as with many great villains and whatnot, pride is always their downfall.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it fucked him over. He had right to be prideful to an extent, as he did. He was very skilled, but he was too
confident in his skills.
Yeah, which it ended up biting him in the ass, because even no matter how good you are at something, you gotta keep an eye out and watch your ass, or some bad stuff is gonna occur.
And of course, there's nothing wrong with humiliation. Humiliation is, in the world of martial arts, from what I've seen anyway, humiliation is a wonderful master. Mm-hmm. To know humility is to be a great warrior.
Well, yeah, which I liked. I like that overall message overall in the movie, because it also helps Snake Eyes become pretty much the better person he is, as he's not perfect. He makes mistakes, but what matters is you own up to your mistakes.
Eventually.
Eventually
you own up to him. Did you guys notice that as the movie went on, Johnny was getting more of the Storm Shadow look to him?
Yeah, at first when I was watching the movie, I did not know who Johnny was, but when he was on the motorcycle and finally got the Storm Shadow look, I was like, oh, I remember who this guy is from G.I. Joe. I didn't remember the name, but I did know what character he was. He was the one that always fought, Snake Eyes in the cartoon and stuff.
Snake Eyes.
Yeah. Which I really loved. I'm going to be honest. I really love that line. Which Johnny, let me look up the actor who plays him so I can credit him. Johnny.
What's his name? His name is Andrew Koji.
Okay, Andrew Koji. I liked him in the movie. His performance was well. Mm-hmm. He went into Storm Shadow's origin story quite well, as he himself pretty much had his own mistakes that bit him in the ass, like having too much trust in Snake Eyes and
letting his emotions get the better of him.
I feel like that's his character.
You could see Johnny's downfall, or not really downfall, but I don't want to say evolution, or his path that leads up to him becoming Storm Shadow. Over the progression of the movie, you see him become more and more like the Storm Shadow that we know. At first, he starts off as this calm and collected warrior with his little fits of rage every now and then. Mm-hmm. But then
but over time,
it leads to him just being absolutely driven by his anger and hatred.
Exactly. Over time, all the stuff that goes on in the movie that pretty much
I messed it up
and all that shit pretty much changes him into slowly losing what he is and making all these really bad mistakes. He loved the clan so much, he ended up doing some stuff that was completely, that he ended up laying his emotions.
What they were for.
Yeah.
Time out a sec. I made a mistake. So apparently Storm Shadow's name is Tomi in this whole movie.
Tomi!
Okay. So that makes, I'll be honest, that makes it feel a little bit sillier. I don't know why.
I agree with you for some reason.
Like,
The name
Thomas isn't a ninja's name. It's
No,
like,
I don't think
Tommy's
it's
a ninja. It's like,
I don't
no,
think
what?
Tommy is short for Thomas. I think it's just it's a name in Japan. It just sounds like it's like a nickname for Thomas.
If you were
Yeah.
being chased down by a ninja named Thomas, how intimidated would you be?
I wouldn't be intimidated. It sounds fucking ridiculous.
Exactly.
I am the shadow of the storm, Tommy.
But then
Exactly.
again,
It's
but
like,
then
well,
again, I have
that's
no
all.
right to make fun of people's names because my name's fucking Joey. So take
we
that
can do
as
a
you
couple
will.
things with that at least.
That is true. That is true.
Joey Wheeler can be intimidating. Did you see him in season 4? He had a suit like a Red Eyes Black Dragon suit.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Which I did like Andrew Koji as Tommy because
Yes.
he went from slowly being very calm, very trusting, and pretty much wanting to owe his life to Snake Eyes for saving him from the Yakuza, to just becoming very aggressive and slowly losing what he once was. And his lines of dialogue, something that really stuck with me was that line, "Snake Eyes, I can't change your past, but I can offer you a purpose." He delivered that line so freaking well. His performance overall was really good, as he did a really good job of portraying a very calm guy to slowly becoming aggressive. Kind of reminds me to how Hayden Christensen was as Anakin in the Star Wars prequels. He starts off as being rather calm, even naive to a degree, but slowly starts to let his hatred and anger consume him to becoming, well, evil. And that's not a spoiler because he's a G.I. Joe character. Storm
Remember
Shadow.
Cobra. Everyone already knew that Snake Eyes was eventually going to join Cobra's ranks.
Yeah, that's like reviewing the Joker and saying that, oh, he loses his mind. It's like that. It's the fucking Joker.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
No,
yeah.
fair enough there.
Yeah. So, if anyone was bitching at me that, Space you said you weren't going to spoil to final Saturday ratings, it's like, shut the fuck up.
Clearly, you don't know G.I. Joe.
Yeah, even as someone who's very limited experience with G.I. Joe like myself, I know Storm Shadow is Snake Eyes' enemy. That's that's common knowledge.
Yeah. It's the white versus the black ninja. That's how I recognized them growing up. I don't know anything about their names. I always thought Storm Shadow was a good guy because he had the white suit on. Then I realized, oh no, that's a surprise.
That's
slightly racist. Not, but I learned eventually, and I was a kid at the time.
Yep.
And it didn't help that Snake Eyes didn't talk. So I was like, oh my god, he must be really evil if he doesn't talk and wears all black all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
That's just how it is. That's just
Usually-
how he is.
Usually,
yeah,
white is seen as the color of light, while black is seen as the color as darkness, because, well, it is darkness, so it's usually
It's like it was like they had like a yin yang thing going on, you know?
Yeah.
It's adorable.
Yeah. Anything else you guys got to say about pretty much anything non-spoilery?
Non-spoilery, I think I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm good as well, you know.
Okay,
I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the actors' performances and all the actors and actresses.
Mm-hmm.
The action scenes, of course, you know, we'll go more into depth of, and special effects, you know, as good as they'll get with the day. But yeah, other than that, I'm all set on spoil free.
Okay, so final thoughts and ratings before we get onto the spoilers. I thought this was a really good movie. It's not great. I'm not going to pretend that this is a masterpiece, because it's not. There is some things that could have been done better here and there. But overall, there is much more to appreciate about Snake Eyes than not. The characters were very well developed and engaging. The action scenes, though the first few were shaky, even those were entertaining. And eventually, the shaky aspect became gone to creating all-around fantastic action scenes. The acting performances were all well done. There was a few moments where the acting felt average, but only a few, like 2 scenes that I can't remember which, just like few things I felt it was average, but for the most part, The acting was fantastic. Everyone did a great job. The soundtrack I remember being really good, having this beautiful Asian-like style to it. To when the action scenes would play, it would get all upbeat and exciting. So I'm gonna have to give Snake Eyes a solid 7 out of 10 stars. It's a good movie. If you haven't seen the movie yet, I personally recommend going out to see it. I'm probably gonna grab it on Blu-ray or 4K when it's released because I did enjoy it enough. Though the theatrical experience being the magical thing, it is enhanced my mood a bit. I think with this, I think I'm able to strip off my theatrical bias for a review and say it's a good movie and it's worth checking out. And I do want to have it in my collection at some point, as I think I would like to rewatch it again at some point. It's not the best thing ever, but it is a good martial arts film I think everyone should watch. Just don't expect it to be the most accurate thing to the source material in the world.
Okay, like, do you want to say what's your review?
Me? I thought we were just gonna go in order.
I don't know.
I'll go ahead and go. Snake Eyes was, like Joey has said before, an enjoyable film and a good martial arts film as well. Not the best, but to me, it ranks pretty well up high. And like Joey, I'm gonna go get it myself, on DVD and whatnot, because I'm not weird like Joey is.
I'm a Blu-ray unfortunately.
Of course, it does have its flaws, as do most films. Ever since filming was a thing, it does have its flaws. I believe that much of Snake Eyes' character has been changed too much, to me at least. For example, like they missed an opportunity where the death of his father could have been the thing that traumatized him, where he decides to take his vow of silence. Mm-hmm. I mean, seeing such a horrible thing to happen at such a young age, who wouldn't want to just absolutely just like not say anything? But I do understand that, of course, it is difficult to make a movie about a character that absolutely says nothing and just takes away like those moments of him with other characters, like his talk with Storm Shadow, his talk with Aikiko, or whatever how is her name pronounced? Akiko, yeah. Just those, it takes away those moments, just them talking to him and he just goes. So I understand that, of course, and Snake Eyes' character development is one of, the best, I think, to me, the best that I've seen. Is him slowly becoming more and more like the calm ninja master that, if this goes well, he will soon become. And just getting rid of all of those negative feelings of anger and vengeance and all that, just letting it all go and just having a clear mind and all that. The story was good. Your typical cliche vengeance story. However, it does have its flaws. I would give it a 6 out of 10. Just because, I grew up watching the original G.I. Joe, even back then, even the original movies and the original shows. Never read the comics, obviously not. So, just seeing such a drastic change to my favorite character's entire character is a bit of a kind of a disappointment for me.
I understand that.
But it is not the worst thing in the world. And I'm hoping to see more of this Snake Eyes in hopefully future G.I. Joe movies. Because, again, I think the actor... what's his name again? Henry Golding. I think he did an amazing job, and I would love.
He had a lot of fun
the role of Snake Eyes.
He said he had a lot of fun doing it and would come back to do more. So I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I hope he comes back. I'd like to see this movie get its sequels because it was building up for more. Though, warning, if you guys are wanting to see Snake Eyes at the very beginning, it's going to piss you off because he doesn't get the suit till around the end.
That also is what made it disappointing for me, is that he did not get the suit until the very end. That's another thing. I'm sorry, but that's his iconic look. You just give it to him at the end, it's
It didn't bother me too much
See-
because it didn't bother me too much because it's a prequel, and so I didn't expect to see it too at the beginning. I expected the upcoming sequels, the planned sequels, though I'm not sure if they'll happen now, but the obvious intent was to use that suit more in the sequels, so I'm not going to really fault it for being an origin story explaining how
You guys are really nice in this movie. I'll give you that. I'm not a major film buff. I've seen a lot of movies. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen more martial arts movies than I have. I've seen a lot of terrible movies in my life. I've seen a lot of entertaining movies in my life. I've seen a lot of middling movies also. This movie has its fun moments to it. And as someone who doesn't know a lot about G.I. Joe, I'm going into this with the bare minimum of I want to be entertained. I want to know a different perspective or an idea of how Snake Eyes came to be. And just essentially that. It answered maybe one or two of those things, one and a half of those things. Because I get who Snake Eyes is. I understand where his suit comes from. I don't know why he's mute. I feel like that should have been answered at some point in this movie. He was kind of an asshole the entire movie. To which, yeah, that's his character development. But I can't root for a guy who's continually lying to people. And I'm supposed to root for that. It's like, you are a dick this entire movie. And I don't want to root for you. I want to root for Storm Shadow. The more the movie went on, I kept rooting for Tomi as his descent into villainy became more apparent. I'm like, you know what? It makes all the reason why Tomi hates you now. I kind of hate you too. I'd be on Tommy's side if I was in this position, I'll be honest.
Fair enough.
Action was entertaining enough. The story, we'll get into that with spoilers, but as you can see, I'm holding a lot in. But I will still say I have some emotional investment in this through maybe anger. But I did enjoy it. I probably wouldn't have gotten to go pay to see it. I probably wouldn't have gotten to go pay to see it. That's probably what most people are doing. And if people really want to see it, I would say, in the best way I can put it, oh, hey, look, Snake Eyes is on. I'll put that on the background while I work on this. That's probably the best way I'd put it. If it would be a number, maybe 5 out of 10 or 3, 5 swords out of 10. Let's go with that.
Okay.
5 swords.
Interesting.
Okay,
So,
all right, Pena. Okay, fine. Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. Yeah, sure. They don't talk in their movies,
Yes.
but they spend a lot of the time in the shadows, and you don't really see them having these heartful moments.
There's a way to have a heartful moment in
just being
in
bleeding
with
hearts.
characters. Remember,
Instead, making
mutants have
hearts
silent
actually
kills.
bleed.
yeah, they're fucking murderers, so that's completely different.
That's the thing. If they were to take that chance to make him mute and do the entire movie with him being mute, that would have been an interesting step to see how they pull it off. Because then it would have been on the actor to actually emote his emotions more or have that outside acting where he's doing this just with his expressions or body language. Where it's just another form of acting. You don't always need to have these things explained out to us.
That's method acting, I believe it is.
I'd like to see a Doom movie like that.
Well, we know, given the first Doom movie we had, that was not good but not great, and then even more recently Doom Annihilation, which we will not speak any further on. I really do not see any Doom movies coming out anytime soon, especially by Universal.
It's been years since I've seen the first Doom movie, but I do remember it being fun for what it was. But Doom Annihilation, from what I hear and from what I've seen, looks like shit.
I've seen it really thinking it was going to be good. It was not.
Okay.
It was it's a bad movie when the first one is much better.
Oh, no.
And the first one wasn't the greatest movie, especially about the Doom genre. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed it, and it had its absolute moments. And you can tell that the actors they really like went all out, actually learning like how to be Marines and all that, taking the time to train. And actually, just of course, in that final confrontation with The Rock, really just seeing how he could actually bring out a, like if you've never seen the Doom movie and you've seen the movies he's in now, and he's like, oh, he's a pretty in the Disney movies that he's been in and all that, he's a pretty cool guy and all that, but you never really see him be a villain much. Yeah. And of course, seeing him be the ally turned villain was actually a really nice touch on the first Doom movie, which of course makes me excited for his Black Adam movie that's coming out soon. But yeah, like I prefer the first Doom. I would rather watch that more times than I would watch Annihilation. As nothing unlike, I'm pretty sure the actors and actresses had a time, but like, come on, Universal, you need to get your shit together. You've only got like the Dragonheart series going for you for right now.
Well, when it comes to the first Doom movie, I remember being a decent popcorn flick starring The Rock. Not great, but not bad. Entertaining. But Annihilation just looks like shit.
Haven't watched them, I'll be honest.
I don't know if I ever watch Doom Annihilation, it's only going to be for review reasons.
It is, and I really do not recommend watching it.
Because it looks fucking terrible. While the first Doom movie, I think if you're going in with this is by my memory, as I haven't seen the first Doom movie since I was a little kid, so take that as you will. But I do remember it being a fun little rock movie, though nothing amazing. But the sequel, yeah, no, I'm not seeing that.
It's not really a sequel. It's like it stands on its own. Thank God that it is. It's not. I really would not have Annihilation tarnish the first movie. Yeah. The first movie is kind of like a hidden gem, in my opinion.
Yeah, by memory, it is. The sequel, it looks...
It's just one of those things that no one talks about. It's like Green Lantern. Actually, no, nothing is worse than Green Lantern.
I have never seen that, but I know nobody likes it.
Things is worse than Green Lantern. It is a Canadian horror movie where I swear to Ra, one of the lines is, oh my God, his blood is as thick as maple syrup.
Oh my God.
It's atrocious.
You want to run that by me again?
Like, Canadian acts like, oh my God, its blood is as thick as maple syrup. Like, wow. Oh, this is terrible.
I cannot imagine Canadians being in a horror movie. They're just too nice.
It is a thing.
Like, there's a Canadian, like, serial killer. He, like, nicks someone. He's like, oh no, I'm so sorry about that. Oh no, here, you can cut me back and we'll call it even.
Yeah. Yep. Like I said, I've seen a lot of bad movies in my time. Things is probably up there as one of the worst.
I've seen so many bad movies that I've seen. I mean, straight up abominations. The words cannot describe it. Like one that I reviewed on my channel recently called Calamity of a Zombie Girl. I fucking hated that. Unfortunately, there's movies even worse than that I've seen. And that's saying a lot, because if you've seen my review of that, you know I really, really fucking despise that film. That is the worst Japanese movie I have ever seen. By far.
Okay, you know what, Pena? You can just take your Mike Myers fetish and just go on about your business.
Oh, don't finish someone.
Anyway, let's get on to the spoiler discussion. You guys bring up stuff you'd like to discuss first.
All right. I've been holding this one in, and I've been leaking it out. Snake Eyes is an asshole this entire movie. He's a jerk. He's a liar. He's obviously a murderer, and I'm supposed to be rooting for him this whole movie. When all
the tragic character
betray everyone he gets to know.
It's the tragic character trope, you know?
But he
like
sucks.
the guy that has done shit and seen shit that you know he doesn't enjoy, but he does it anyway because what he doesn't know any better. Hey, how's it going, McGee?
He is doing, by all means, yes, he is. All right, so so as the movie goes, Snake Eyes lost his father really, really early on to some dude in, I don't know what it was, but apparently his dad was tricked into getting shot. Where the bad guy has these loaded dice, and it's like, here, if you roll higher than me, you get to live. The dad rolls, it's Snake Eyes, the dad is shot. Oh, look at that! The kid who saw this traumatizing thing of seeing his dad get shot took his own name for the reason his dad got shot. So I'm like, okay,
It's symbolic.
I'll give him that. He's a little kid, and he just continued to call himself Snake Eyes for the rest of his life, and he wants revenge on this one guy. He can't find him, so he goes to the Yakuza. The Yakuza are like, I can help you find this guy to kill him. Just work for us. And as he goes, there's a plan where the Yakuza wants Snake Eyes to infiltrate this one ninja clan to steal this MacGuffin solar ruby. Right? It's a MacGuffin sunstone where whoever holds it can just make things explode. You become a firebender, essentially.
Yeah.
And the entire movie.
Chosen's Comet, go.
Yeah. And Snake Eyes is like, Snake Eyes gets the trust of Storm Shadow. He gets the trust of Akiko. He goes through these 3 pretty interesting, cool trials, which I found fascinating.
Oh yeah, the trials were actually like absolutely like I enjoyed those. Because, you know, the final one being against the fucking anacondas, in which they were like, "Ha, nah, bitch, you don't get the pass today."
Yeah,
I loved the trials too because first off, I found them to be quite interesting, and they also helped Snake Eyes get the skill that he has now, as he was originally still skilled, which is why Kenta wanted him to begin with, but he wasn't anything amazing. He wasn't anything. He still had a lot to learn, as he was still new to being a warrior. But as he went through those training, he did eventually get to becoming a better fighter and a more skilled master for their team. Of course,
sort of. Like the first one, which in the first one, I immediately thought of like, all right, the first one was with like the martial arts master. Each of them has a bowl of water. His job was to get the bowl from the master's hand without spilling a drop. My immediate thought was ask. Just ask for it. The nice, polite thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. Just ask for a trade.
Yes. It's like, may I have your bowl, please, master? Obviously, as someone who's rash and hot-headed, he's going to fight, which led to a very good sparring session, which I enjoyed.
Which was expected because, you know, Snake Eyes, he was just, like, again, like, he was just, you know, hard-headed and, you know, just ready to go into the fight without thinking of possible, possible routes to take until he stops and thinks.
Exactly, and that's what all warriors need to do. Stop and think and find other ways around. Which
I think was the start of his development into becoming a more calm-minded, rational master.
Fair enough in that one. The second challenge was essentially a hallucination where he got to speak to his now deceased father and get closure on it, which by all means, he probably should have got that from the beginning with therapy, which is why mental health is so big. And he had no records about him at all. Like how, like you wouldn't think like if he decided to get therapy, the therapist wouldn't find that a little bit suspicious. You could find a way to do so. He managed to get forms so he'd be like, okay, I can now work with this group. He could have asked the Yakuza, hey, can I get like a name or papers for anything I'm trying to work on?
Yeah, but you know the Yakuza ain't gonna like.
They could. They totally could. I believe the Yakuza are a very competent organization.
Yeah.
Well, I've never met one, so I don't know.
Fair enough. Neither have I. I wouldn't know. But by all means, that's how that worked because he needed that. He actively needed that emotional sense of closure to move himself forward.
Yes.
It was a pretty emotional scene.
Yes.
You know, he like reliving that whole thing again, thinking about what could have happened how he would not be there if he had like acted out when he was a child.
Yep.
And go ahead. I'm done.
I'm saying you had a shot.
It really did a good job at pretty much progressing his character, as it once again was showing how pretty much his father would not want any of this backstabbing going on, and that he got what he wanted. He got to save his son, and his son's going on living, and he pretty much doesn't want him to pretty much look to go on living, just having a heart full of hate and revenge, which again, he didn't completely redeem himself at that point. He was still slowly getting back to himself, but that did slowly bring him to where he is now.
Which got us to the third challenge of the Rancor Snake Pit. To which, when I saw that, I immediately thought, this is a Rancor pit. If a giant Rancor I immediately thought, this is a Rancor pit. If a giant Rancor is floating around here, I'm going to be jumping off up and down. Then it's like, oh, giant snakes. I can deal with giant snakes. And the giant snakes were just going to judge him of pure of heart? That was it?
I actually really liked this challenge because, again, it had some very interesting Asian Buddhist or Shinto-like mythology going on there. And, first of all, they're cool giant fucking snakes, so that's another thing I like. And it pretty much showing that he was not pure of heart, and because he still had hate in him, which also brought progress across the plot of where he had to reveal that he is not pure of heart. He is out to get revenge on his father's killer, and always has been for his whole life. Mm-hmm. It progressed the story, gave us some really cool monsters, and when it came to the overall mythology of it, it was interesting. And it felt really rewarding where around the end where the snakes came again and pretty much fucking killed Kenta for falling into the pit.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I saw that first snake. Like, he was about to eat him. I was like, yeah, get him. And then he cuts his head off. I was like, aw. And then the other snake comes in, and I was like, yay!
How strong is that dude to cut a giant anaconda's head off?
I know.
It's part of the cartoonist. I love
Ninja!
But that was awesome because I was disappointed when he cut the snake at first, but then the other snake grabbed him and ate him. That got my adrenaline pumping. And then it finally showed that he was...
That tense final scene with the last two anacondas and snake eyes, it had me on my seat. I was like, ooh, is he pure of heart now? Do they still think are they going to eat him too? I was like, ooh.
I mean, he has to live for sequels.
Yeah, so they tested him, and he was finally at his his goal of pretty much being a good person now. I know you said he was an asshole, Forgotten Pharaoh, but I like that development that he slowly became a better person.
How many people did he get killed because he learned way too late to be a nicer guy?
Collateral damage.
Collateral damage. He was like, Kenta brought him to a castle. His home had him go through the trial to help protect this one sacred gem that's, like I said, sacred to his entire clan. Snake Eyes stole that, gave it to the Yakuza, who were working with Cobra, and he knew he was working for Cobra at that time. And then as soon as Kenta went back to the castle to start blowing everything up, he finally realized, oh, maybe what I'm doing isn't right, and I shouldn't kill this one guy. But he still stole the jewel, gave it to Kenta and the Yakuza and Cobra to let them kill off an entire clan.
Vengeance can be blinding.
Yeah, but
it is very blinding. Fair enough. But I can't overlook the fact that he did all of those awful things, and the only redemption we got is, he killed the leader of the bad guy who killed everybody. It's like, you still caused all of this. It was your fault to begin with.
Yeah, but in all fairness, he was full of hatred and wanted to get his father's killer, which is why when it was revealed, he pretty much had nothing against Cobra. At first, even though I think he knew they were bad, but he still was willing to work with them because he did not know that that one guy that killed his father was actually ordered by Cobra to do it. Which is when he fully realized that he was backstabbed and saw everything that he did wrong. Which he already saw he did wrong after he...
8 people out of the whole thing? Out of like a clan of people? It took too long to get to that point. It feels like I need him to actually actively do something good to be like, oh shit, I messed up. I have to make everything right. Because, Tomi, at the end result, is like, you destroyed my house. I am no longer leader of the clan because I trusted you. I've lost all rights to my family. I've done effed up so hard that they won't even trust me anymore. I hate you, Snake Eyes. I trust Tomi and Storm Shadow. I'm like, he has every reason to hate Snake Eyes in this movie. Like, it's hard to argue with that logic.
Oh, I do agree with you there that he does have every reason to hate Snake Eyes, but I like on the other hand, I like that I like that he pretty much that we are not perfect. Everyone does mistakes, and yeah, what he did was really bad.
No. There's mistakes and there's effing up Royal, and that dude was effing up Royal.
I only got like like dozens of people killed by some crazy lunatic with the magic gem, but it's a simple, like our esteemed god Bob Ross once said. There's no such thing as accidents, only happy little mistakes.
Yes, a happy little mistake which killed an entire clan of people, and probably
you win some, you lose some.
On a highway.
Like, you win some, you lose some.
Okay, a comment said that, Joey, so you think you enjoyed this because it has some comparisons to Gallo? No, it does not have comparisons to Gallo. I'm a massive Gallo fan, but Snake Eyes is nothing like Gallo. If I was to compare this to any Toku hero, it would be Kamen Rider because
are you saying Gallo?
Yeah, Gallo, aka Garo, if you want to use the English pronunciation.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. All right, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, it's nothing like that. If anything, if I was to compare this to any Toku hero, it would be Kamen Rider for the simple purpose of martial arts, motorcycles, and Snake Eyes' outfit looks like a freaking Kamen Rider.
I wouldn't say Joey's getting owned. This is just a friendly debate between three people, two of which know shit to none about G.I. Joe.
I know basic level things.
Oh, basic?
I'll be honest, right? Like,
yeah.
I know enough to know.
Do you know that G.I. Joe is more about than just simple terrorist organization and then a secret organization fighting that terrorist organization? There's like gods and shit, which I'm pretty sure was like confirmed, given like I'm pretty sure that jewel wasn't like, something that they bought on Amazon.
No, like it was something from the gods that can't it was something from like Amaterasu or something along those lines. It had folklore history going to it. It had god level powers, which is why giving it to an active terrorist organization seems like a screwed up thing. I can't let that go. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
there's even snake people from I can't remember. I think they're like I think they made their debut in like the first animated movie. Is that correct?
Yeah, there was a dude who actually had like a cobra face, right?
Yeah, there was a guy that actually had a cobra face. There were snake people.
Yeah.
And fucking like I think they were I cannot remember, but I think in like I'm not sure if it was the first ever animated movie. I think it was an animated movie, but like Cobra and G.I. Joe had to like put their differences aside to fight against the snake people.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense for a movie. And they were part of a movie, and I feel like that's where they first showed up. And they started like becoming a recurring theme in the cartoons. Because toys and marketing.
Yeah. Whoa!
But yeah, I definitely see your point on that, Forgotten Pharaoh, since what he did caused a lot of lives. But for me, it was still character development, which is why I'm cool with it. But I also, another reason I do like it is I also can sympathize with Gold's, what's his name? Something Storm? Black Storm? Dark Storm?
Storm Shadow?
Yeah, Storm Shadow. Which is why I could also
Black Storm.
His name is Tomi, sir.
Yeah, which is why I could sympathize with him. That's another thing I really like about this is I was able to respect where Snake Eyes went by seeing what he did wrong due to his dark past, making him make fucked up decisions, but still growing from it. But at the same time, what his actions led to some really bad stuff going on, and also led to Storm Shadow being able to not make it where Storm Shadow could not pretty much run the clan, where he wasn't able to run the clan due to using the jewel, which was forbidden for the clan to use. So he wasn't able to be the leader of it. He got bit in the ass from it due to all of what Snake Eyes did. So I was able to sympathize with him while also liking where Snake Eyes became as a person. It's kind of like you kind of get to have 2 points of views delivered to you, which I kind of dig that when that's brought to screen.
Fair enough. I'm siding with Tomi the entire time. It's like, you know what? I hate Snake Eyes now. If I trusted someone, came into my house, stole a bunch of my figures, and set my house on fire, I would have a vendetta against them for the rest of my life.
Oh, I agree with you there, but when it comes to a movie, I'm able to be a bit lighter on someone, like Emperor Palpatine or the Joker. If they were real, they would be piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
But as villains in movies, they're awesome. They're fun, have great motives, interesting, and you just can't help but to love them. Even though if they were real, I'd fucking hate them.
Hey, Palpatine did a lot for the galaxy, okay? He dealt with some of the slave trades. He managed the infrastructure. Palpatine is a savior to the galaxy.
Yeah, like unfortunately, Snake Eyes was moved out of theaters a little early because of how low the box office were. So it was moved to streaming. Hopefully, it will do better on streaming.
I would hope so, because I would say, like, hey guys, would you want to just stream this in the background? It's like, yeah, if we're at a party, I'm gonna put Snake Eyes on. We could all like drink and watch it together. That would be a fun time.
Yeah, hopefully it does better on streaming because I honestly really enjoyed the movie despite its problems because it's not a great movie. Everyone here can agree on that. Me and Gabriel feel it's good, but we have our criticisms to it, while Forgotten Pharaoh feels it's fun, but average.
Yep, that's a good way of putting it.
Well, 5 out of 10's average for me, at least. What would you say?
Like, by all means, it's not a terrible movie. I have seen, like, it doesn't give an active, awful message. Like, I'll say a movie's bad.
Howling too.
That are actively bad. Like, this is a horrible thing to be teaching somebody.
Yeah.
Like, this one's just like, all right, yeah, you done messed up, like, a lot. But I get you're still trying and you're focused on a goal. I don't excuse you for any of those things, but you're starting to realize it and you want to make better at the very end of this movie. Like at the very, very, very end of this movie, you finally get your suit. You realize, okay, you know what? I'm willing to become a Joe because my dad was a Joe apparently. And I'm willing to join you guys to try and make up for all the awful things I've done. But I have to go find Tomi first, which I guess he doesn't. And then he just quits and joins G.I. Joe anyway.
Which I can honestly...
Let's talk about the ending real quick.
Okay.
The ending to me felt... like the sudden thing about his dad being a Joe, which I'm not sure if that's an original like comic book thing. Like I'm not sure if Snake Eyes' dad actually was, a Joe. I think his original origin was that he was a kid off the streets that was taken in.
That's what the old movie said he was. He was just a random orphan who just already lost his parents and he just lived around. So that was just like weird. It's like couldn't just be like a guy that was just to just piss off the wrong people and whatnot. I mean, it's neat, but that's just not me, And then of course, he got his suit, which I feel like he could have gotten around the end of the movie, like for the final confrontation, Like during the climax somewhere, he could have gotten it. During the climax somewhere, he could have gotten his suit and fought in it at least. Right before he was gonna steal the gem, he could have broke in, like, you know what? I'm gonna take this suit because it masks me from all their surveillance stuff, and use it from that point on to deal with everything else. Right, exactly. Again, another missed opportunity there. And then, of course, there is the post-credits scene where Storm Shadow is recruited by Cobra. Simple, but promises there is more to come. Hopefully, this is not going to end up like what happened with X-Men Origins. But then again, X-Men Origins isn't exactly a good film in itself. I kind of liked X-Men Origins. It was a franchise of characters who annoyed me and who always annoy me in comics. But this is like, you know what? This is streamlined a little bit easier for me to understand in comparison to the massive entourage they have. I mean, like nothing against X-Men Origins. It has its moments, and again, Hugh Jackman, perfect, like just absolute great performance as Wolverine. Oh, Origins, my mistake. No one can come close to Hugh Jackman and Wolverine. Yeah. We won't talk about Deadpool. Oh, yeah, my mistake. I'm thinking of First Class. Yeah, X-Men Origins was a little bit of a headache.
Yeah, we will not talk about any more on certain characters.
Yeah.
I mean, like, of course, Ryan Reynolds. Who can be Deadpool better than Ryan Reynolds? Just not that Deadpool.
Yeah.
True.
Like, come on.
Excellent actor,
Like,
but yeah, they
even
did some
fucking-
wrong things.
Even
about
he even went back in time and just like no.
Which
Stop.
when it comes when it comes
did
to
so
the
much wrong with
ending,
that.
if it gets a sequel, if it doesn't get a sequel, I personally won't fault this movie for being a setup for it, since it was meant to have a sequel, and it does a good job at building stuff up, getting you ready for what's to come next.
Mhm.
But I do really want it to happen to see what's to come next through the movies. But I will not fault this one if it never happens, because it is made as a setup story, and the box office failure would not be this film's fault for failing pretty much. Because, for example, Turok Evolution, that's one of my favorite games ever made. I'm not sure how many of you guys played Turok Evolution.
I used to have one of the Turok games, that's for sure.
Huh?
I had fun playing it.
Oh, okay, yeah, I love Turok Evolution. It was made to be a prequel trilogy to Turok Dinosaur Hunter and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil and all the other Turok games.
Yeah, shit. That's an old. Oh god, that's an old ass game.
Yeah, it was made to be a prequel trilogy to those, but Acclaim went out of business, so we never got to see the story continue, which is sad, because I really loved the story to Evolution. I found Tarkeen to be a very mysterious and interesting character, tall set. I liked seeing him develop into the badass warrior Turok, which was a shame, because it was a really good setup story, and there is a lot of times I find myself quoting Turok Evolution. Just unfortunately, it never got to continue. But I won't fault it for being a setup story that never got to continue due to the company going out of business, because that wasn't its fault. It was made to be a prequel trilogy. Same if this film doesn't get its sequels. I will not fault it for not getting continued, since it was made to build up a series that just so happened unfortunately never got to continue.
But that's a problem with a lot of movies. Stick with the current movie, and if it does well, then you could build on to them. Like, what was it? Universal's Dark Universe crapped the bed because they tried setting up a giant multiverse. When you know what?
Yeah, man. I think
Invisible Man, new Frankenstein, a new Dracula, a new Wolfman, and then somehow combine them all together. A proper mummy movie.
I'll be honest, that was the least of the Mummy's problems. It's been years since I've seen that movie, but I remember it just being terrible all around.
That was more so the biggest problem with it. It wasn't a direct movie. It was trying to set things up where it's like, this is not a straight movie. Especially since the last Mummy movies that's still in most people's memory are the Brendan Fraser movies, which are still to this day super fun blockbuster summer movies.
It's been a while since I watched them, but I'll be honest, I thought this is an unpopular opinion, but I think the best of the Brendan Fraser films would be the third one, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, as I thought it was really entertaining. The first two I remember not being bad either. I do have an unpopular opinion.
That is an unpopular opinion.
Another unpopular. And the 1990s, the first 1990s action reimagining of the 33 film, not 33, I don't know how old the original. I'll be honest, I am not fond of the Karloff film at all. I don't think it's that good.
Yeah, like, I feel like Universal's Dark Universe had great potential, especially, like, if you consider just, like, Universal in the past has made good monster flicks. Mm-hmm. From the very beginning, with the original Wolfman, a timeless classic, Dracula, Frankenstein, all that, and then Van Helsing. Yeah, Van Helsing, absolute, just one of the greatest paranormal movies ever. And then, of course, the 2010 Wolfman remake.
I never seen that.
You've never seen it?
Nope. I seen the original Wolfman with it, which is great. I also like the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm not fond of the Karloff Mummy movie, and honestly, Bela Lugosi is fantastic as Dracula, but I'm not huge on the film itself. But I love Bela Lugosi as Dracula. But when it comes to the old Universal monster movies, I really like the Wolfman and Creature from the Black Lagoon. Those
I think you would enjoy 2010's remake
Mhm.
because to me, like it is one of my favorite werewolf movies of all time, next to Underworld and Van Helsing and all that. Like it really actually like you can tell that they actually did really fucking good. Benicio, what's his name? Is it Benicio del Toro?
I think so.
I know his first name's like Benicio something. No, it's not.
Yeah. You ever see Dog Soldiers?
Yeah, Benicio del Toro apps like did an amazing job. It had an amazing cast with Benicio
Anthony
del Toro.
Hopkins played like
And-
the
Anthony
original
Hopkins.
werewolf man.
Yeah, Emily Blunt, Hugo Weaves, an amazing cast. Really easy to a really good story, and overall just great practical effects. Like,
oh yeah, I know the effects are great. I've seen those.
yeah, like
But
just absolutely, like it was so good to see just the guy in the costume instead of like nothing against like CGI models and all that, especially if you're going with the more like actual like more looking like a werewolf type of thing, big burly wolf like head and like really and like like the disintegrated legs like such. Nothing against that. Like even with Van Helsing's werewolves are probably like the most recognizable to this day.
They're my favorite, I'll be honest.
Yeah, my favorite too, like to this day. And still holds up really well. But 2010's Benicio del Toro's Wolfman really just like melded together the wolf and the man. Like I've never really been fond of just, like grow hair and claws and teeth while still having much of a human face. I've never been fond of that type of werewolf. I've always liked like the Van Helsing werewolves, big, scary wolf-like heads and underworld werewolves and all that. I've always liked those first. But the 2010 Wolfman, oh my god, that is my second favorite werewolf design. And absolutely,
if you like costume werewolves, you should check out Dog Soldiers and
Dog Soldiers.
I feel like I've seen
American Werewolf in London. Those are my favorite werewolf movies. Dog
Oh
Soldiers.
yeah,
and
American Werewolf in London.
like
also
military
a timeless
soldiers are
classic.
turned into werewolves, or they are werewolves.
Huh?
Huh?
Is that the one where like military soldiers are werewolves?
Oh yeah, like in Scotland and all that, like soldiers versus werewolves, which to me is like a pretty cool fucking concept. I love it.
Is.
I love seeing like they're not running away scared. They're taking the fight to the fuckers.
They're still like getting owned by werewolves because I'm always rooting for werewolves, but
like oh yeah, like definitely. But like it was great just seeing these soldiers. But like fucking come on, man.
By the way, did any of us give our opinion on the music aside from me saying something brief on like when I was giving my final thoughts and ratings?
No lie, I don't remember the music throughout this entire movie, and that's
I don't remember the music
point
much
against it.
either. Like I liked it, but I don't really have much of an opinion on it.
I don't remember it.
I just remembered. I actually did went into my opinion on the movie. I said it pretty much had this nice traditional Asian like feel to it that you'd often see.
Yeah. Okay, now like when they were first arriving in Japan and all that.
Yeah, that was really.
That
really
I actually enjoyed the score. I actually enjoyed that.
On the action scenes
really...
you had this very finish.
I'll be honest, it really doesn't stand out to me. I'm thinking back and I was like, what score in my head really stands out? The Wonder Woman theme, Godzilla's theme, Mothra's theme, Transformers. What's another theme that stands out? Van Helsing theme stands out in my head now that I'm thinking about it.
Right.
Well, Indiana Jones, what? Like, I don't remember any soundtracks from this movie, like, at all.
I thought the music was really good as I had that nice traditional Asian sound, but on the fight scenes you had this very upbeat, adrenaline pumping music to enhance the overall experience. So I personally enjoyed the music. Oh, and J.S. Pennis asked, I've never said I never played Turok. Is it that good? Yes, the Turok games are really good. Play Turok Evolution, Turok Dinosaur Hunter, which is the first game made, just Evolution takes place before it. Turok 2 Seeds of Evil, and I still gotta play Shadows of Oblivion, Rage Wars, and that remake that I heard.
I agree about with Pena on the Suicide Squad. The music is a really cool on the Suicide Squad too.
I remember the music from the Suicide Squad. Actually, that kind of elevated the scenes, but they're also nice enough songs that they're also cozy to listen to just on its own.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Suicide Squad themes. If I was to describe Suicide Squad, I'm not going to go too much into it till I give my review on that later. Are you guys joining me for a review of that down the road too?
I'm down. That was wait. Which
one?
Oh
yeah, man.
One or
the new one?
Okay.
The new one. Okay, so I know you guys are on board with that. When it comes, I'm not going to go too much into my opinion since we're going to be reviewing that one probably next week. When it comes to Suicide Squad, I thought that was a really good movie. Dangerville described Godzilla King of the Monsters as a comfort film, which it is. Suicide Squad I'd put in that same vein. It's a comfort movie.
Except for King Shark. King Shark is a tragedy throughout the entire movie.
I know,
He is. Like,
I fucking loved King Shark.
It's
like you can't help but just like feel for the guy first there's like he has no tragic past or anything or anything like that, but you just can't help but just like feel love for the guy, especially the aquarium scene.
Down to him, it's not fair. He doesn't deserve any of that. He's the shark man.
I still love this one meme someone made with him in the Jaws in Jaws where he pretty much has his hair where Brody is pretty much looking at the camera and he has his hand out. It says, and he has his hand out. It says, "Man."
Oh, I've never seen that.
Yo,
I fucking love it.
Yeah, guys, check out the Discord real quick. See what Smith's put in self-promotion.
Okay. So do we have anything else in the spoilers of Snake Eyes?
I think I'm pretty alright. Oh, I will say it spoiler-wise, it explains everything to Snake Eyes. It gives him his name, it gives him his bike, his sword, his suit, his rivalry. It doesn't explain why he's mute. Snake Eyes is
because he's not mute yet, fool.
Things, and they didn't explain one of them.
King Shark. That is true.
I just saw what Jimmy said. He said, "Me hanging out listening to your guys' review of Snake Eyes. Mailman, throw something heavy in my mail slot loudly." The thing
thrown in the mail slot.
Everyone join the Daikaichi Space Zilla Discord server. Link is in the description down below, and check self-promotion of what it is. It's fucking hilarious. I'll post that.
Oh yeah, we have some good times on that.
It's fun. Come chat.
What is that? What is that? What? Oh, I want to know why why is that in his mail?
You know, I would just believe y'all have it sometimes.
But yeah, the Discord server is a lot of fun. With pretty much we just hang out, discuss a bunch of random shit. It's fun. Go and join it. Link is in the description down below. We'd love to have you.
All right. So yes, originally Snake Eyes was white, but that's not really such a big change at all. I mean, you really couldn't tell anyway, since he wears a mask most of the fucking time. I really doubt we've ever seen any actual face reveal. And if there is one, I do not know if
there was one in the comics a long time ago, but it looked like his face was burnt, half burnt off, and his vocal cords were burnt. And it was a long time ago.
Just that switch from him being white to Asian, and it seems as though Snake Eyes was born in America, so he's about as white as it's gonna get.
He could have been any race, and I would.
He's Asian, he's Asian American, so I guess it's close enough.
Yeah, I personally don't bother. I'm personally never bothered when it comes to race slots, as race never really comes to my head unless it's a woman. As you guys know, I'm a cultured man and love me some Asian chicks.
That seems racist, but okay. I know you like your preference. That's also partly racist.
You sound like my troll friends now. Shut the fuck up.
No, but let's talk about the action scenes. My two favorite scenes is the first scene against just the army of Yakuza, and then the final confrontation at the clan home. Two of my most favorite scenes. Just seeing like what's his name? Tomi? Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, like no special gears or anything like that. Just, a warrior with only two swords, and then just a street fighter just taking on an entire, pretty much like a small army of Yakuza.
So many swords.
So many swords.
Like,
so many
I've never seen a
swords.
truck stabbed with so
Like,
many
I
swords
get it.
in my
They're
life.
the Yakuza. But, bro, guns exist. If that were the case, the movie would have ended very quickly.
That's not a thing. That's not how the Yakuza works. It's only swords.
Is it only swords?
Yeah.
Apparently, they have a truck, stab it with a sword. Now I know.
Well, if you're going to go old school, you might as well make it work.
Yeah.
So,
But, again, I enjoyed that first fight scene. Just them against the small army, it was fun. And then the final confrontation, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow putting aside their differences to save the clan, working together with the other masters and Scarlet and Baroness, absolutely just owning the Yakuza.
Yeah, I really like that too because they all work together. Even though Storm Shadow was obviously pissed at Snake Eyes, but he wanted to save the clan, and you pretty much had Kenta with that powerful jewel that Snake Eyes got him. And I really liked it. So they pretty much all had to team up and work together. And the grandmother, I believe she was, pretty much told Snake Eyes if he betrayed them again, she'll kill him. Rightfully so.
he should have died right there.
Then we got
Yeah, I feel like
But
if
then we got
it were like real, if this took place in like feudal Japan, definitely they would have killed him.
Oh yeah.
Even regardless if he saved the clan or not, he still betrayed them. They would have killed him right there on the spot. Like they do not play in feudal Japan.
in old Japan, yes. But it was a very epic moment because there was a lot of stakes at risk, and regardless of all the bullshit that went down from his mistakes, they pretty much had to work together with him to take down Kenta due to having an extremely powerful weapon in his hand.
And we got hit him with fireworks. Like they threw a cone of fireworks at him and he exploded.
Yeah, but
hey, Kung Fu Panda proved it worked. Why couldn't Snake Eyes do so too?
It did, but did they need him for that? Kenta was the one who got his attention the entire time. Then the clan pushed the fireworks at him. So when he turned around to shoot, it exploded in his face. Snake Eyes wasn't even part of that fight.
But we did get a really good shot of them together where we all, you know the shot I'm talking about, right? Where they're all
when they're all walking down, making their way to Kenta. The infamous walking down together in like slow motion. And
and then we got them pretty much standing together. The shot of it was overall amazing, and it just really got the adrenaline pumping, ready to see the epic climax take place. And then, of course, when we got the battle with Snake Eyes that went on, what's that guy's name? Oh, Storm Shadow using the jewel as during the battle. The jewel ended up getting knocked out of Kenta's hand, and Storm Shadow used it, which is what caused him to get banished. And he ended up running, which is what ended up leading him to getting to
I really thought he blew Kenta the fuck up.
Oh, I did.
It looked like he did.
It looked like he did. It was like, how the fuck did he survive?
Kenta should have got that win.
No way.
He was that
fucking quick.
No, sorry.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ninja magic be damned. He should have died.
He has slasher villain powers. It's called teleportation. You guys should learn it yourself.
Michael Myers, Pena, Michael Myers would be happy, am I right?
To realize substitution jutsu is a thing, so that's possible. I get that.
Pena, Michael Myers would be happy.
Of course, when he got to the escape, he ended up battling Snake Eyes, which is where the excellent climax took place of them falling into the anaconda.
And I liked how Snake Eyes played on Kenta thinking too highly of himself.
Yeah, I like that too.
Like, which just proves my whole thing is like Kenta is overconfident in his skills as a warrior, and he thinks that he's pretty much better than everyone else, which Snake Eyes used against him.
Movie.
Which is what fucked him over in the end, was being overly confident, and Snake Eyes took advantage of that. And due to that happening, Snake Eyes didn't say shit about the snake showing up behind him at all, and I like that.
You would have thought
smart.
Kenta, being a member of that clan before he himself was banned, he would have known about the snakes. Like, I'm pretty sure he did the 3 trials.
Actually, why didn't he know about it?
You think? I'm pretty sure 3 giant anacondas living in your basement just is not something that you just easily forget.
Well, I don't know if that means he forgot they existed. Maybe he just wasn't paying attention and pretty much got too caught up with battling Snake Eyes and got cocky about it.
There's no amount of forgetting a basement of snakes.
Yeah, I know.
Like, if there's 3 giant anacondas roaming around a basement in any house, you're gonna remember that for the rest of your life.
Of course, Kenta, like he thought he had won. He was getting ready to kill Snake and all that. I guess such thing was. I guess it just slipped his mind.
That is 100% true. I don't think it really means he forgets. I just see it as he got really too cocky about it. Like, he was too caught up in battling Snake Eyes and thought he could kill him, but ended up getting eaten by the fucking snake in the process. I don't know if that meant he forgot about it, or he just got too cocky.
Oi!
I still can't.
Oh well, he dead. So
like I've resigned myself from what this movie is. Enjoyable, but I can't with this. I need more either G.I. Joe content, or I need just a G.I. Joe show on one of the streaming services. We're like, all right, I can watch this comfortably, relax at home, go through a couple shows, maybe go through an origin story, like an origin episode of each character. It's like I can get along with that.
Culture yourself, Pharaoh.
Yeah,
just make yourself known about G.I. Joe. Watch some of the shows, some of the earlier movies.
I actually saw the other 2 movies earlier this year, but unfortunately, I also forgot about those because they're moderately underwhelming. The first one had so much G.I. Joe in it that I did remember, and it made me laugh.
Yeah,
like for comedy's sake.
I don't know what the hell the second one was.
Yeah.
When it comes to this one, it's not a great movie. All of us can definitely agree on that. But overall,
it's not exactly a terrible one either.
It's not good. Things. It's also not Death Kappa. So I can agree.
Death Kappa.
It's not Death Kappa.
Death Kappa was certainly something.
Yeah, that's why.
Nothing will ever be as magnificent.
So I feel like I'm okay.
Magnificent as Death Kappa.
Yeah. When it comes to Snake Eyes is one of those movies that it's flawed, but it's overall a solid film that I do recommend giving a watch. I overall had fun with it. I have my criticisms towards it, as we all currently discussed right here, but I did find more that I appreciated about it than not, which is why for me, 7 out of 10. Galix, 6 out of 10 for Galix, so me and Galix feel it's good. And you gave it a 5 out of 10, right, Forgotten Pharaoh?
Yeah, I will say it's like average. You don't need to see it. If you want to see it, go for it. It won't hurt you watching this movie, but I don't think it really benefit you either.
Like, and of course, don't just like take our word for it entirely.
Yeah.
Like, watch it yourself. Make up your own opinion about it. See what you think about it. Like
exactly.
Our opinions on it aren't definite. They are not, solid facts. It's just us on what we thought of the film.
Exactly. We are not people we're not opinionated. We know our words are not the word of the gods. our opinions are just our perspectives and interesting
Look for
enough.
yourself, fool.
But when it comes to our perspectives, it's just that, our opinions, and we discuss them. On many things we agree on, some things we don't. And that's what made this whole stream interesting.
Yeah,
Really
this
just
is fun.
seeing our own like takes on certain things and just like thinking about it and be like, oh, that's actually a very valid point.
Exactly.
Because no one can sit down and have debates anymore.
We all have to be right or wrong.
Yeah, nobody here was right or wrong. We all offered our own perspectives that are valid. And we had fun doing it.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. I'd be down to do this again.
Me too. I had a blast doing it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Anyway, that is, unless there's anything you guys want to get out of the way, I think that is it for this episode of Galactic Nerd Outpost. What would you guys say?
I'm good.
I'm straight. Check out my gaming channel. I just uploaded my last bit into Resident Evil Village. I'm using Joey as promotional revenue.
Right?
Just don't give me check out.
Yeah, check out Galactic's videos. He's very new to YouTube, and he offers some really entertaining streams. He has a lot of energy, he's fun, and brings humor to his all-around videos. Definitely check him out. I would promote something from
Snuggles. I can hear it in his voice.
I'm sorry, what?
I bet you give good snuggles. I can hear it in your voice.
Snuggles?
Yes.
My friend, I am the snuggle god.
I don't know. As Pharaoh, it's in the title to be a god king, so I'd have to understand that myself.
And yet, you guys still died.
Is there anything that you'd like to plug in, Forgotten Pharaoh, aside from maybe your Instagram?
Nah, I'm pretty good for the most part. I just kind of function on my own. I just love to join in whenever y'all need an extra opinion.
Speaking of join in,
okay.
Pena would like to join us on a stream sometime, so keep a lookout for him. We would love to have more people join us on these kinds of things, of course.
It'd be fun to have you as. Yeah, it'd be nice to have you. It'd be nice to have you as a guest, Penna. Anyway, that was it for this episode of Galactic Nerd Outpost. Thank you all for watching. Please comment your thoughts down below. If you like this episode, please hit that like button, share it around, and give and subscribe to our channels. Also, go and check me out on social media. Links are in the description below. I have a Facebook page, a Discord server, an Instagram, a Twitter, and I also have 2 Facebook group expansions, being Galactic Nerd Outpost, the group, and Kaiju and Monster Icons if you're a Kaiju fan. So feel free to join those, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and give the Facebook page a like. And I think, and we all have.
Penny just had to call him Jisp.
Jisp.
What kind of name is Jisp?
Well, I think JSP. I think that's what he wants to be called. JSP.
He's Jisp now. You're Jisp now.
Okay, fair enough. So, this is Daikaiju Spacezilla leaving the building.
Ta-la!
See you guys next time.